try to ignore the camera, please, Eris? It's only there so I can review the interview if needed.
Or maybe you just like watching me?
Shall we get on with the questions? Did you know that there is a story in the mortal world that is based off of you and your mischief?
Oh, really? Fascinating. Gosh, it's good to know that I'm appreciated somewhere. Do tell me more.
It's called Sleeping Beauty.
Yes. Intriguing.
It's essentially about a beautiful princess who is cursed by an evil witch to fall into a deep slumber for 100 years. And she can only wake up when she receives true love's kiss, being saved by a handsome prince.
Why did the witch curse her?
Because she wasn't invited to her christening.
Oh, I see. It's a reference to when I wasn't invited to the wedding between Peleus and Thetis. So I caused a little bit of trouble.
What do you mean by caused a little bit of trouble?
Well, obviously I came to the wedding because no party's a good party until there's a gatecrusher involved. And I just gave them a little gift.
What was this gift?
An apple. A golden apple. A gift for the fairest goddess. Well, it caused absolute chaos. Everyone wanted to be the fairest goddess. Aphrodite, Hera, and Athena were all fighting over it big time. Well, a lot of stuff happened, and then Aphrodite eventually ended up with the apple, I think. Oh, and then the Trojan War started.
How did the Trojan War start from an apple?
Wow, you are really slow for a detective. I'll break it down for you, shall I? Look, no one wanted to choose who the fairest goddess was. So they made this guy Paris, who I think was a shepherd, choose which one it was. Everyone wanted the apple, obviously. So they all tried to bribe him, and Aphrodite offered him the most beautiful woman in the world for his bride if he chose her. And well, that seemed to tickle his fans. Aphrodite introduced him to Helen, the most beautiful woman in the world, and they fell madly in love and lived happily ever after. Jokes. Turns out Helen was married. Scandalous. So when they fled the city, her husband, Menelaus, he wasn't too happy. And he gathered a group of men and they all attacked Troy to try and kill Paris, and ta-da! You've got yourself a Trojan War.
Ah, a lot happened from just a golden apple.
Well, can I tell you a secret?
It's not my job to keep secrets.
That the apple wasn't actually special. I just wanted to have a little bit of fun.
A game you still clearly like to play. The night of Zeus's celebration, you announced that there was a rose. A gift from you that should be given to the person who has the most wisdom.
Yes, I did.
And this rose happened to be found in Zeus's bedroom in the morning, laced with opium, a strong sedative.
See evidence 11.
There was also a prick found at the end of his finger when a doctor searched his body in the morning.
Fascinating.
Do you know how Aurora fell into her slumber in Sleeping Beauty? She pricked her finger on an enchanted spinning wheel.
Oh, I see what you're trying to do here. The connection you're trying to make, you know, Aurora pricked her finger and Zeus was found with a prick at the end of his finger, and I'm kind of like the witch in Sleeping Beauty. Oh yeah. So it's kind of like it's all coming to life, although it couldn't be called Sleeping Beauty. It would have to be called like Sleeping Ugly. Yeah, no, you're right, that was a bit of a rubbish joke.
I'm not laughing, and I would take this seriously if I were you.
Look, smartass. I thought that rose would go to Athena or Themis, you know, being the goddesses of wisdom and all. And yeah, I confess, I thought it might cause a little argument between the gods, but not even I could foresee that my father, Zeus, would receive the Rose of Wisdom. Although I suppose it does kind of make sense. He does think very highly of himself. If I were you, I would be interviewing Demeter. She's the one who gave the rose to me. If it was laced with opium, it was done long before I got my hands on it.
That's interesting, because we also found this in your room in the morning.
See evidence 12.
Could you explain to me why a syringe was found under your bed with traces of opium in it on the morning after the attack?
That's not mine. No, I'm serious. I promise that's not mine. I don't know how that ended up in my room. I don't do drugs.
Well, that's convenient, isn't it? Because how it looks to me is that you injected the rose you got of Demeter with opium and persuaded Zeus into taking the rose back with him into his room.
No, like I said, I didn't know Zeus would end up with that rose. God. Look, I know I don't have a pristine record, but I wouldn't let a joke get this far out of hand.
You already did when you started a war from just an apple. Well, Eris, that will be all for today. Try and stay out of mischief. I have enough on my plate already.